Welcome back, everybody. This is part two of the case of Vitel Hommie Innocent. And if you want to know more about this case, please continue watching. As I explained before, some people would say that Vitel Hommie Innocent is the reason for the nation's disintegration because as you read further into the article, it explains that things like the airport and other government buildings are dark and many have been taken over by the refugees fleeing the gang violence. And so that means that all of the powers that be, like within the government and everything else, have been pushed out of that building due to the refugees trying to hide in those buildings to flee from the gang turmoil, and it, isn't safe for them to be there. And it is also said that bodies lay among uncollected trash in the street, and the neighborhood, still free of gang control, have seen the rise of fear-filled vigilantes who kill and burn suspicious outsiders. So basically, if you are not a native of Haiti or even someone who has lived in that area for many, many decades, you are likely to be taken off the planet if you are seen walking through Haiti and they know that you are not an outsider. Now, one thing that I do find interesting is that I heard someone say before, because they are of Haitian descent, that once when they went back home and they stepped off the plane, in what we see as regular clothes, a lot of people come up to them asking them for money because they assumed that they were rich because they were, getting off of a plane that landed at the airport. So anybody in a war-torn country or a country that is just overrun with gangs and turmoil might see someone who comes from anywhere like America, especially, as being rich. So when they're stepped off of an airplane, they're targeted by all these little kids and teenagers who are asking for money because they assume that, they are rich, which in most times is far from the truth. We are just regular citizens, but to them, they might consider us to be rich because we come from America. We had the means to fly to Haiti. So, of course, they're going to be looking for money of some sort. And I think it's really sad that people have to do that in countries like that. Just to give you a picture of how things were when CNN and its crew arrived there, when David Culver sat down with Innocent, he said that the signs of the city's dysfunction were evident within the crazed Barar stronghold. Inside Innocent's sprawling mansion, the air was still and hot. His foot soldiers labored to get a generator running to power air conditioning or a fan, but no one had bothered to remove the wrecked sedan that still sat next to the pool with its blown out windows and 4 flat tires. Now, my thing is how, my question really is, how did that sedan end up back there? Did someone drive it back there as a prank, or was that a way to get the previous owners to maybe sell him the house by blowing out their windows and flattening off 4 of their tires? I mean, just simply, how did that get back there by a pool. What was the purpose of that? I would really like to know. Or was it just something of, oh, park it here, and it never was moved, and they decided, oh, we want a pool, so they had someone come in and put a pool. But of course they had to work around the flat tire, blown out window sedan that still sat there, and that is how it ended up there, and no one bothered to remove it. I simply don't understand. And why would a man with that much money, because let's face it, he's not exactly doing too bad, judging by the way he was dressed, but why would he not have regular power? Or was this something that is normal within Haiti, where the power goes out so much that you need a generator for just in case measures? That's also something I would like to know, because that could also be interesting, because if that's not the case, then that means that he decided that he doesn't want to pay maybe a power bill, so that there can be no trace of where he lives or anything of that nature. But that is something interesting that I would like to know the answer to. But what makes this interview so strange is that Innocent didn't want to talk about those things, as far as the dysfunction of the nation being evident, and the blown out SUV that sits by the pool and things of that nature. He wanted to talk about a brighter future, with one that he claims that Haiti's gangs are prepared to usher in. Now, this is my thing here. I don't understand how he can think that someone or a group of people who are prone to violence can basically usher in a new era for a city or a country, one that they have been a part of tearing down. Not saying that it can't be done. I just don't see it as something as being as possible as he makes it out to be, unless he doesn't really believe it himself and he's just spewing a bunch of hogwash in this interview. But I don't see him as being the type of person to do that and waste his time when he could be doing something else, as well as him risking his future by being on camera and possibly being captured. But he didn't want to talk about those things. He wants to talk about Haiti's brighter future. And he, just seemed like he was so sure that this was going to happen. And the reporter also said to sit down with one of Haiti's gang leaders is controversial in the country, given the suffering and terror that armed groups have long sworn. Arson and collective rape are preferred gang tactics to subjugate civilians, experts say, and the United Nations has recorded the gang-linked killings of at least 1,660 people and kidnappings of at least 438 people, including 21 children in the first 90 days of the year alone. Now that is just that is stunning, that many crimes that can be so harsh can occur in just 3 months. That is just mind-boggling to me, and no one still has yet to locate this man. I'm wondering if they can go and look at the video or the interview that he did with CNN and possibly match those backgrounds to where he might be located. But of course the man isn't stupid, so I'm pretty sure he's moved by now, and maybe that wasn't his home that he sat down and did the interview in. Maybe that was somebody else's home that he asked to use for that interview so that no one can be tracked to where he actually lives so that he, can possibly evade capture just a little longer. Because I don't think the man is as stupid as to lead a full camera crew / news station to his home. Now, if he is, he has the balls of steel because but then again, you have to think the man does walk the streets freely, as we saw in the interview, giving out food or money or whatever some people need. And maybe that is his home, but I seriously do not think that this man would bring a news crew like CNN to his home and then later that could lead to his arrest and capture. I just don't see it happening, but I could be wrong. This case is strange because this man is under sanction by the United Nations for extensive human rights abuse committed by the crazed gang under his leadership. And he is also wanted by the Haitian National Police for kidnapping, for ransom, murder, rape, armed rape, as well as vehicle theft and destruction of property. And his group is known to target the Haitian National Police directly and has sought to seize some of the wealthiest neighborhoods of Port-au-Prince. I wonder what makes this man think that he can do all of this and still go under the radar. But then again, depending on how long he's been doing this, I'm pretty sure the man is no dummy and he, has a plan to do what he wants to do, unfortunately. And that is, seize these neighborhoods and possibly throw people out of their homes to use it for whatever he wants to use it for. And I wonder, was that how he acquired his home, or at least the house that they were interviewed in, to be able to, through seizing the houses, through armed rape as well as theft. I'm seriously wondering this because if that is the case, this man is a real life crazy person and he does not need to be walking the street. Because what if he decides to do this to elderly women, which I'm pretty sure no one is exempt from his violence and terror when he strikes, and I just feel bad for a lot of the citizens that live there because it is just crime ridden, and I'm pretty sure more than things that were reported in this article go on there as well. Things that we probably can't even imagine. So I just wonder what makes him think that he can do all this and still fly under the radar. And why has no one thought to even, if possible, send in the National Guard to get this man out? Not to be funny or anything, but they might have to do him like they did Osama bin Laden and send SEAL Team 6 in to get him, because he might be just that dangerous, because he has a gang at his disposal and they are with him like 24/7. So I think the only way they're going to be able to get this man is if they send SEAL Team 6 in to get him, and that might be their only shot. Now, what makes this man a more interesting person, if not psychotic? He said in his first interview with the foreign press that he did not deny the deaths, the arson, the rape, or kidnappings committed by the city's allied gangs, and told CNN that he has made some mistakes, but he framed the recent months of deadly street violence as collateral damage. Really, collateral damage when he could have seriously stopped all of this and maybe done things a different way. But I guess in his world that he comes from, like so many others, he shoots first and asks questions later, or maybe he doesn't ask questions at all because he just doesn't give a damn. Now that is my opinion, but that is also what it seems like from me reading this article. But he also said that even though the deaths are collateral damage, some of them were both accidental and extrajudicial, and also have been caused by the police. He points out, claiming they refuse to engage in dialogue. Now, I wonder if this is true, because a lot of times when people are known to be gang leaders or even someone who commits a lot of crime, I don't think law enforcement is too big on talking to you. Maybe if you were an upstanding citizen and decided not to commit all of these crimes that you were being accused of, then maybe they would have been a little more interested in, informing dialogue with you, instead of them thinking, okay, if we go sit down with him, is he going to have somebody put bullets in the back of our heads while we're trying to have a conversation with him? Or, are they going to try to tie us up and maybe, do, things to us, like torture us or things of that nature? Those are things that I have to wonder about, because you never really know. Because if this man is responsible for harming women in a physical way, as well as, putting bullets in people and taking belongings such as houses, cars, money, and things of that nature from people, what makes you think that they are going to trust you, sir? Because I can guarantee you they don't trust you at all. They want to catch you and put you in jail for what may be the rest of your life. I don't know the laws in Haiti, but I'm pretty sure if he has done what he's being accused of, he's gonna be put in prison, and he ain't gonna go for nowhere for a long time, which is what he deserves if the crimes that he's being accused of are the crimes that he committed. Now, he says his only regret is getting involved with politics. Now, I'm curious how how does he see himself as being involved in politics? Because let's face it, although that may be a way of life in Haiti or certain parts of Haiti, because I want to make this clear. When I speak about Haiti, I'm not speaking of them as a whole. I'm speaking of the parts that he runs, or the parts that are shown in the CNN interview that they got shots of when they sat down to interview with him. Now, at the time of his arrest, or excuse me, at the time of this interview, he was 38 years of age, 37, excuse me, and now he has turned 38 because his birthday is in March of 86. So that lets you know how old he is now. But he portrays the broad alliance of gangs attacking Haiti's institutions as a progressive venture. He says, our dream is to get rid of the oligarchs who prevent the country from progressing, and said the gang coalition that calls itself Vive Nation, or Live Together. I don't understand how he can hope for something like that when he's, you know, out here killing people, you know, just to take whatever he wants or just because he doesn't get his way. That makes me think of somebody who is completely unhinged, because I could never in my life harm someone just because they have something that I want and I feel like that's the only way I'm going to get it. If I have to harm you to get it, such as taking your life or what have you, I don't want it, because that's not going to do anything but backfire on you worse than you think or worse than you can imagine. Now I'm going to link the other parts of the entire video in the description box down below, along with the article that I read from CNN, so that you all can watch that in full, because I don't want to make this any longer than it already has to be. And hopefully, if anybody knows where he is or how to bring him to justice, just remember that there is a $2 million bounty on this man's head. So if that does not give you an incentive to turn him in, then I don't know what will, because I mean, who couldn't use $2 million that they got in a legal way to help bring someone to justice? I mean, that is if they aren't a part of the crime or the issue. But you know, if you know where he is or can help bring him to justice, please reach out to the FBI, because I'm sure they'd be grateful to arrest him and bring him in so that he can stand trial for the crimes that he's being accused of committing. But unfortunately, guys, that brings me to the end of today's video. If you liked today's video, please don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Please don't forget to leave me a comment down in the comment section below. And if you're not already subscribed, before you leave, please make sure that you subscribe. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.